sit here thinking you're not fast enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. That you're missing something essential, something decisive. That others have already raced ahead, found success, discovered answers, while you seem to be stuck, surrounded by the silence of your own doubts. I know that voice in your head. It speaks calmly, but it poisons. It tells you you're late. That time has passed irreversibly, that the doors are closed and success is meant for everyone except you. But that voice is a liar. It feeds on your exhaustion. It's distorted by fear. It doesn't know the truth. You don't even realize what you accomplish each day. You get up in the morning when every fiber of your body begs you to stay in bed. You show up where you expect no inspiration, but you go because duty calls. You come back carrying the weight of invisible battles on your shoulders. You solve problems others wouldn't even recognize as problems. You quietly endure blows that would have knocked others down long ago. And you do this every single day, yet somehow call it nothing. But you're wrong, deeply wrong. Every morning that you rise despite the pain, despite the doubt, despite the fatigue, you are creating a new version of yourself. Every moment you don't give in to the unknown, you become more solid. Every decision to choose purpose over instant comfort is a brick in the foundation of your destiny. And even when there's no applause, even when it seems no one notices, you are building. Time is not your enemy. Time is your ally, even when it's silent. Those people you see standing on mountaintops, they endured years of unseen effort. Their victories are not miracles or luck. They are the outcome of relentless repetition. Their confidence is not a gift. They earned it in darkness. Their path was paved with the decision to keep going, again and again, especially when quitting felt easier. You are on that same path. You're moving in the same direction. The only difference is you don't yet see where it leads. And because of that, it feels like wandering. But you are not stuck. You are not wasting time. You are laying a foundation. Every step, even the small ones, carries weight. Every effort leaves a mark. Every day you refuse to give up is a step toward a future you can't yet see, but are already creating. That moment will come. Not because the world owes you something, but because effort never disappears without a trace. The laws of reality don't reward at random. They honor persistence. Effort creates results. Repetition builds mastery. Patience generates strength. Time does its work, slowly but inevitably. It turns seeds into trees, and you have already planted those seeds. Right now, you're in the season where the surface looks barren, but underground, something powerful is happening. Roots are growing. Strength is forming. Life is preparing to break through. Your struggle isn't that you're not good enough. Your real pain is that you want to see the fruit now. You crave confirmation, evidence, guarantees. But reality doesn't respond instantly. It speaks through perseverance, through day after day, through the silence that hides the process of growth. Anyone who ever became a master endured a season when their efforts were invisible. Everyone who ever achieved something went through a time without applause, without praise, without certainty. They worked in the shadows. They built in silence. They waited. Not because they believed in miracles, but because they understood. Every step, every repetition, every one more day brought them closer to the moment when their inner work would become visible. Strength doesn't appear suddenly. It grows. Success doesn't come without roots, and roots take time. And you've already grown them. You think you're falling behind. You look around. Compare yourself to others, their success, their speed, their milestones, and it feels like you're dragging behind, missing something vital. But the truth is, you're not even in a race with them. No one around you is your competitor. You are in a race with yourself, with who you were yesterday, who you were a month ago, who you were a year or even several years ago. The only comparison that truly matters is the one between who you are today and who you used to be. That's the only honest picture. And if you're truly being honest with yourself, if you set aside the self-criticism shaped by someone else's standards, you'll see the truth. You are not standing still. You are growing. You are moving. You are changing. You are becoming. You've grown stronger, more resilient, more patient. You've gained experience, learned to overcome challenges that once would have frightened you. Your ability to handle pressure has increased. Your emotional stability has deepened. You've started to truly hear yourself. It's not always visible on the surface, but something is shifting within. And that inner change holds far more weight than the outward shine of someone else's victories. And yet, strangely enough, it often feels like that's still not enough. Because you keep looking up to the peak, the dream, the goal, and you forget just how deep the valley was where your climb began. You see only the distance that remains and completely overlook the vast ground you've already covered. But you've overcome more than you give yourself credit for. You've walked paths others were too afraid to even look at. That's okay. It's part of the journey. It's a trait of ambitious minds. Those who are truly committed to growth rarely pause to celebrate their milestones. They're always looking to the next level. That's the power of ambition. Seeing not just what is, but what could be. But that same power can become a trap. Because in chasing what's ahead, you can forget just how far you've come. Right now, you're in one of the hardest parts of the journey. This is the stretch that demands the most faith. Faith without evidence. It's the moment when you keep showing up without seeing immediate results. When you pour in your strength, your energy, your time, and all you get in return is silence. This is the stage where most people give up, where many decide it's not working, not worth it, because the progress is hidden, the fruit hasn't appeared yet, and it feels like you're moving through nothing. But you're not most people. You're not here by accident. These words echo in your soul for a reason. It's because the strength you need is already within you, waiting to rise. There's a voice inside whispering, you are meant for more. It doesn't demand proof. It simply knows. It speaks when everything else, logic, fear, exhaustion, tells you to quit. And it's not a lie. It's not naivety. It's not wishful thinking. It's your true essence. It's the fire that never went out, even through every storm. It's your intuition, your spirit, your deep-rooted conviction that you are not here to surrender. You are here to finish what you started, even if you can't yet see the finish line. Right now, your task is simple in shape, but hard in practice. Take the step every day, no matter the weather in your soul, whether you feel inspired or empty. Because inspiration is like the wind. It comes and goes. But discipline is the anchor. It's the foundation. It's what keeps you steady when everything else is shaking. Discipline is choosing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the force that gets you out of bed when your body begs to stay still. It's the habit of continuing, even when your mind searches for excuses. It's what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Not heroes in a moment, but masters over time. And you've already shown this discipline. You've done it before. Every day you push past doubt, fear, and fatigue. You strengthen your character. Every time you choose the harder path, you're laying down the foundation of a person who can endure anything. And most importantly, you are not alone. You never were. The people you look up to with admiration have already walked through this. They sat in the same silence, faced the same internal questions, endured the same moments of doubt and disbelief. They hurt too. They also thought it was all for nothing, but they chose to keep going, despite everything. Despite the darkness, despite the fact that the light had not yet appeared, the light will come. Not because I simply said it aloud, and not because you desperately want to believe in it like a final thread of hope. The light will come because its arrival is part of a great and unchanging order. It always comes. It's not an accident, not an exception, not a rare miracle. It is a law. Light is the breath of the universe, its constant pulse. It returns again and again, just as spring follows winter, just as the tide follows the pull of the moon, just as every dawn follows every night, regardless of whether anyone believes in it or not. This is not just poetic imagery. It's the very architecture of reality. Night cannot last forever because it was never meant to be the end. It is a passage. It is a necessary interval that always gives way to the morning. Darkness is not the essence of things. It is a pause. Light is their original and ultimate state. It is the foundation, the beginning, the return to what is whole. And your current situation is not final. It's a temporary zone of transformation where your strength is quietly taking root. Even if it feels like you're stuck, in truth, you are moving. You are already growing. You are changing. And that process cannot be reversed. It cannot be stopped. Because growth, too, is part of the law. Stop waiting for permission to live fully. Stop listening for approval from those who aren't moving themselves. Your progress does not need anyone else's blessing. It has already begun. You keep going, not by accident, but because something deep within you refuses to quit. You're not just stubborn. You hear a call inside that will not be silenced. It speaks to you when everything around you tells you to stop. It echoes in your soul when the road gets hardest. You feel it in your rejection of defeat, in your refusal to accept stillness, even when you're exhausted, even when you're alone. That is your real confirmation. Not external, but internal. It doesn't need words, recognition, or applause. It is the quiet resolve to rise again, to work when no one's watching, to search deeper, even when you don't know why. You're not waiting for someone to show you the way because you're already on it. You walk not because you're certain of every step, but because standing still feels like betraying who you are. And that is your strength. That is your truth. Now is not the time to slow down. Now is the moment to move faster, deeper, with greater confidence. Not because you're falling behind, not because you haven't achieved something, but because you've grown, because a new strength has awakened within you. You've become someone who is ready not just to dream, but to act, not just to hope, but to overcome. You've become more resilient, not just in body, but in spirit. Your body has learned endurance, your mind has learned discernment, and your heart how to forgive and move on. Your endurance has deepened because it has been tested by time. Your character wasn't shaped by theories, but by real battles, the ones you went through when it felt like there was no way forward. And yet here you stand, not broken, but built. You are no longer the one who first began the journey, not lesser, but more whole. You've gained clarity that can only come through the road itself. Now you're not just able to walk, you are able to lead, not just to fall and rise, but to rise with purpose, with an awareness of why it all matters. You've become someone who no longer chases meaning, you carry it. Trust the journey, trust time, even when it feels slow or irrational. Time knows when to open the right doors. Trust yourself, even when your inner voice trembles. Even when doubt clouds your thoughts, it is not the truth. You already carry everything you need to continue. You haven't been left without strength or purpose. Sometimes your eyes just get caught on someone else's path and you forget. Your road is your own. You got distracted by someone else's success, someone else's horizon, and stopped noticing the light burning inside you. But it hasn't gone out. It's still shining. It's just waiting for you to see it again. Your strength isn't in perfection. It's not in being unshakable, flawless, or made of steel. Your strength is in persistence, in continuing, not for applause, but because you've decided not to quit. In getting up even when there's no strength or desire left, in moving forward when no one is watching, in believing even when everything looks like an ending, in not stopping, even when you can't see the next foothold. Your strength is a decision. I'm going on. It's that quiet inner voice that says, I'll take one more step anyway, when everything else falls silent. Tomorrow you'll wake up again, and once more, you'll face a choice. The same question life asks every day. Where will you place your focus? On the road that seems endless, or on the single step right beneath your feet? One step, one effort, one honest choice. That's how a path is built. Not from breakthroughs or fireworks, but from loyalty to your own movement, from persistence, from consistency, from the will not to stop. That's how success is built, not quickly, but securely. Not all at once, but brick by brick. So choose not to stray from the path. Even if it's dark, even if it's quiet, choose to continue. Choose to believe, even if belief only whispers instead of shouting. Choose to act, even when it feels like you have nothing left, because your time is coming. It's not lost, it's not forgotten. Your spring is already on its way. And even if you can't yet see the sun, it is already shining. Its dawn is not just approaching, it is carving the path toward your new morning, and that morning will be yours.